bit about yourself. What's your story? What's Kadeem's story?
Just an inner city youth. I like to bring that up because a lot of kids don't understand that you can be from the inner city and still grow up to be someone special. So I'm an inner city youth. Went to CD Sweden up the street. Went to C.I. Walker. Went to high school in the States. Spent 2 years there. Then I went to college, junior college, and did 5 years in college. Played JUCO and then Division I for two universities, Louisiana University, and then Wichita State. Made it to the Final Four. The sit out year we made it to the Final Four. The second year we made it to the tournament and lost to Kentucky, who eventually went undefeated the next year, same as we did the year before. So who I am, just a young Bahamian just working out every day trying to make something happen.
Good. So talk a little bit about the professional career. Where did it start for you? And where are you currently? How did that kind of happen?
My professional career, it started in 2014. I went to Saudi Arabia. Right after college, I started doing some pro workouts to get my body right to a professional level. And I started in Saudi Arabia, had a wonderful year, won the cup. I went to the championship and lost. But the next year I had the opportunity to go to Bahrain and play on a really good team. There we won the cup, we won the championship. We went to the big golf tournament and we placed third. And then the third year I played in Bahrain again. And then for the past 4 or 5 years I was in Japan, where I won back-to-back shot blocking titles, numerous cups, but I haven't won a championship with that team as yet. So we're still working on that.
Okay, a goal definitely for the future.
Yes, trying to get a championship.
Wow, so from Nassau, from the inner cities of Nassau to Japan.
Yeah, to playing on crate courts, tire rim courts, to playing in big arenas, sold out arenas, and at some point in college you've been playing in front of 20-something thousand people at one time. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's really a blessing.
That's amazing. Again, welcome to you guys tuning in. So Japan. So I'm going to make you say something in Japanese, right? Teach me something.
Let me see. Okay, so arigato gozaimasu is like thank you.
Okay.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato
gozaimasu. Gozaimasu.
All right. I'll leave that to Kadeem. We're going to skip that part.
Yeah,
but nice. So, grew up in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
You're very tall. You're not standing up right now, but he's pretty tall, guys.
6'9".
Yeah, 6'9", right? Would you say, because, in the Bahamas, if you're tall, they say, we can make you do something, right?
Right.
Do you feel like you chose basketball or basketball chose you?
With basketball, the funny thing is, when I started getting my growth spurt at the age of like 13, 14, people would come up to me and my parents a lot of times. We'd be in the supermarket and they'd be like, hey, does he play basketball? He should try out for our team or whatever. But I wasn't interested, not yet. At that time, I hadn't played organized basketball. I just played on the crate courts and in the streets, occasionally on the park with friends. And then my parents just was like, we got to get you out of this environment.
Mm-hmm.
We got to introduce you to basketball. And we're going to do whatever it takes to get you motivated to want to go. Because with Trevor Grant, we did 6 a.m. practices.
Right.
What kid want to get up at 6 a.m. to go to practice and then go to school? So my mom's thing was to make me drive. So she would say, I'll teach you how to drive, but you got to get up in the morning to drive yourself to practice.
Right.
And because I wanted to drive, I would get up and I would drive to practice every morning. And from there, it just became a habit. And then my body started to transform. And I was able to, be more effective on the court and make it through practices. So to answer the question, I think basketball chose me and my parents pushed me towards it.
Good. No regrets, right?
No regrets. No.
Good. Who or what would you say is your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration. Inspiration changes from time to time. So early on, my inspiration was, I guess, the motive to drive. And then my parents inspired me by being there for me and supporting me and showing me that, just like if I go to the game, we go straight from school to the game. There's no parents pick you up and take you.
Right.
So to be on the court and then to hear someone say, that's my boy, and you look over and your mommy in the stands,
Right.
You wasn't expecting that. So that kind of support, it makes you feel good about what you're doing, and so that inspires you to keep going. And then later on in life, as you get older and you're an adult, the inspiration becomes, you're inspired by the money or the family aspect of things. So I guess now my inspiration is my family. They love to see me play basketball. They love to enjoy the things that I do. So I am inspired by that.
Awesome stuff. So being a professional, it takes a lot, right?
Yes.
What would be like a typical day for you? If you were over in Japan and it's the season, like what would a typical day look like for you?
So I'll give you like what a typical week would be like.
Okay.
So a Monday is the day after a game. So we usually play Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday. So in a full week like that, because there's so much demand on the weekend, Monday would be an off day. Tuesday would be a light come in. So you wake up in the morning, you probably got film study for about an hour. You got a light, probably bike ride in the gym. For a guy like me, like a veteran or whatever, so we do a bike ride, might do some little mobility stuff, and then we go to the court. So now we got to do game prep because the game is Wednesday.
Right.
So now we do more film, more walkthroughs and game plan and all that stuff, and then we stretch. Then we got to go to the hot tub. Cold tub.
So it's a lot, like you from.
So like just in a day, like my family, I would leave in the morning times, and my family might see me hop in the day just to grab something to eat and hop back out, but they won't see me for the majority of the daytime. Wow. They won't see me until later that evening.
Wow. So like mentally, that could be a little taxing, huh?
How
do you prepare for that? Like
you prepare based on, in high school and in the States and college in the States, they kind of prepare you for that kind of stuff. You're so used to doing those things that when you get on the pro level, it's almost like second nature.
Okay.
So all that stuff, even though it's a lot, that's all you have to do basically. Right. You have to find a way to make that exactly what you do. Like even that I'm home now, that's what I do. I leave the house at 9:20, 9:30 in the morning. I get to where I gotta be, and I don't get home till maybe 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, and a lot of my stuff is done.
Right. All right, awesome. Again, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. We'll get to it. We have one coming in from Chris Swish. He asked, who was your favorite player, or who did you kind of mold your game after?
That's a great question. So I'm a Kobe fan. But I didn't model my game after Kobe. I can't play like Kobe. Right. I try my best, but I can't.
Right.
I'm a big guy. So, I mean, there's a Bohemian guy that I really love. I really watched playing growing up. Not growing up per se, but when I really started getting into basketball, was Magnum Road.
Okay.
I still feel like Magnum Road is probably the best I've ever seen. I know DeAndre Ayton is doing pretty good, and Buddy is doing great. But Magnum Road for me was someone I looked up to, and I even tried to play with him in college. It just didn't work out. But he was a great player, long, athletic, could shoot, could put it on the floor and do all those wonderful things.
Good, nice. All right, so when did you figure out or kind of knew what an athletic trainer was? And like what value did an athletic trainer at some point in your career, whether it was college or professional, like what value did they bring to you? And just talk a little bit about that.
I learned about athletic trainers in high school in the States, probably my last year.
Okay.
When we had a lot of good players, a lot of guys that are athletes and pros and stuff. So one of the coaches, she went to college and all that stuff like how you did, and she came out with the knowledge. She was helping coach the team, but she was also helping the team like recover and stretch and all that stuff that we took for granted at the time. But as we got into college and we see how it is mandatory, you have to go. So I learned about them in high school, and then I learned value about athletic trainers probably my junior year in college. Okay. Coaches started making that kind of stuff mandatory. They would cut down practice time for you to go get a trainer, to get help from the trainer. It's simple as just knowing how much stretching you need, how much icing you need. They might know something that you're doing wrong. You're not wearing the right shoes. Simple for me, I had my senior year in college, I had turf toe, and it was nagging me, and I could not figure out, why. I did all the steroid shots and all that stuff in my toe. And the doctor's like, what kind of shoes are you wearing? I mean, the trainer's like, what kind of shoes are you wearing? And I had the Colbeys. He's like, I think the toes is just a little too flexible. You need something a little more stiffer.
A little rigid, yeah.
Right, so I stopped wearing those Colbeys from then. So they know a lot of little things that help you, stay away from injury.
Yeah, so we're a little bit more than just the water girls and water boys, right? Awesome. We got another question coming in. Was the transition from college to pro a major difference, or was it a big adjustment for you?
In a lot of different ways, yeah. Because when you're in college, like your coaches, they basically make your plans for you. The school have rules for you. You got to go to class. You got to go to a study hall. You have meals at a certain time. And sometimes your meals are late, especially it depends on what school you go to. Your meals will be laid out for you. You don't have to pick your food. They got your nutrition, everything lined up for you.
Right.
Whereas as a pro, you have to do everything yourself. You got to know your meals. You got to know when to eat your meals. You got to know when to be places. When you have interviews lined up, or you have a TV show or TV commercial shoot lined up, no one coming to pick you up.
Right.
You get your email, your text message, and they tell you where to be. You got to show up. Right. If you don't show up, now there's consequences. What hurts you the most? Your pocket. So now you're taking money from you. Now you're losing money over something so simple. You could have just showed up to where you had to be, but it all takes prep. So that's why you see a lot of guys that go to big colleges. They've been doing it at this level for so long. It's just like, just normal to them. They get to understand where to be, how to be there, and how to handle themselves accordingly.
Awesome.
And then in terms of workouts, even then, so as a college athlete, your coach is going to demand everything out of you. As a pro, they don't demand anything from you.
Right.
It's what you give them.
You got to be self-motivated.
You have to every day get up and do your work. And you have to give them something to hold on to you. If you don't give them something, they're not going to hold on to you. There's a lot of guys want to play pro. Yeah. And in many cases, there are guys just as good as you or better. But you have to stand out by being that person that is going to work, that's going to, be in the right places and do the right things. Right. So once you know that things, then you're going to stick.
Awesome. Keep the questions rolling. We got a question here from Sean Bastian. That's our assistant athletic director. Right. Sean, I like this question. We're gonna get to this question. Let's dive a little bit more into the conversation, and we can definitely get back to this question. So, adversity, it happens. Life isn't perfect. Right. You got your peaks and your valleys, right? For you, you sustained a serious injury. Right. Walk us through what happened with that injury.
Well, the injury was about a year ago, end of February last year. We were playing a big team at our home gym, sold out gym or whatever. And it was down to the last couple of plays, last 2 minutes or whatever, and they were trying to press us to get so they could stop the ball and get some buckets on the because we were about to win. We haven't beaten that team for a while, so I was really excited about that. And we ended up breaking the press, something we work on all the time. The ball went to the corner. I was at the free throw line. One guy in between me and the ball, and he went to go. When the ball went to the corner, he went to go help. So I just routinely went for a lob. And when I gathered and I planted and I took off, my right knee popped. I felt it like, even though in the video it looked like it's moving really fast, in my mind everything is going really slow. I can see everything. I can see the fans. I can see the ball still flying. I can see my leg went up, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then I said, you know what? Let me just try to land as best as I possibly can. Right. I ended up landing bad on this leg. So I ended up popping same injury on both sides. Wow. Very strange. Wow. Very, very strange.
Yeah, so that's rare to have a we call that bilateral injury.
Bilateral, yes.
Where you have both knees.
The same injury. Yeah. It wasn't any ligaments, any tendon. I mean, the tendon, but it was more like a bone fracture on both sides. Right. Yeah.
So we kind of like twins when it comes to this knee injury thing, because I had bilateral ACL reconstruction, right? So not the same time, obviously, but So we kind of twins in that way, and so that's difficult to go through something traumatic like that.
Yeah, but surprisingly, it wasn't any excruciating pain like how people go through pain and stuff. I was just, it felt more weird than anything. And when I realized that, you know, it was the way it was moving, I was like, this ain't right.
Right.
And the guy was like, could you stand up? I said, I feel like I can stand up, but I don't want to chance it because it's not feeling right.
Right. All right. And initially, who came out on the court to see you? Was it an athletic trainer or?
Have to be.
There we go. I just wanted to put that plug in there. You know that. You know we're valuable when it comes to that. You know,
first person that comes to your need when you need them most.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
He was the first person to come on the floor. He did the examination.
Right.
Then once we had our conversation about how I felt, he just signaled for them to bring the stretcher to come up. Yeah.
All right. You know, when that happened, I know for me, when I tore my ACL in college, my junior year, and it's always like, I feel like sometimes injuries always happen when you're kind of like at a peak, or if you're doing well, like how you said, you're always about to win that game, and you know, for me, I was like at the peak of my career at that point, and I went down, you know, tore my right ACL, and like, for me too, it wasn't really painful per se.
Okay.
I mean, it felt some pain, but you know.
But a lot of times when I see guys get injured, they be screaming like, ah!
Yeah. But a lot of times that's mental. Like for me, I started crying without even really being in pain, because I knew, hey, this is probably a season-ending injury for me. So, was there any ever like self-doubt, like you wouldn't be able to come back from this?
The whole time. The whole time was.
How you overcome that?
All right, think about this. I'm in Japan. A lot of these guys don't speak good English. And after I get into the locker room, the team is still, they're devastated, and they still got to play the last minute and a half, whatever's left.
Right.
They end up losing that game after being up 6 with a minute and a half left. How you lose that game?
Wow.
You just got to hold the ball. You know, long story short, so I get back there. And the doctor guy that's supposed to be at every game, you know, for stuff like this, he's doing the examination, and he's saying, I'm like, bro, what are you saying? Like, what is happening? He's like, I don't know. He's feeling like, so he does the ligament test and all that stuff test with pulling and stuff, and everything is strong.
Right.
He said, I don't understand. He said, but I feel a gap in between the cap and, you know. So I'm like, bro. He said, okay, you got to go to the hospital for them to give you a real evaluation, because I can't tell you for sure.
Right. And
in my mind, it's like, I done.
Yeah.
I done.
Yeah.
And I had just made a big purchase that day, so I was like, I can't spend my money. So, got to the hospital, met the doctor, started doing all the scans. They tell me what it was. I said, doctor, I could be able to walk again. He said, yeah, man, you just gotta do surgery. I said, okay, no problem, man, cool.
Okay,
so
great.
After that, then, I mean, I still had doubts that I'd be able to play again or whatever.
Right.
But I was good enough to know that, hey, my leg got to get cut off.
Right.
Right.
So, you know, I always say things don't happen to you, they happen for you, right? And so overcoming this adversity, I'm sure made you like a stronger person, mentally, just, you know, as an individual and on the court, I assume, right?
And I appreciate a lot of things that happened this year being off. Yeah. You know, saw the birth of my son. I missed my daughters because I was playing in Japan actually.
Okay.
So I saw my son's birth. I'm about to be here for his birthday, his first birthday, which I missed with my daughter. I missed everything with my daughter.
Wow.
So she only got to come to Japan a couple of times during her first year. And she wouldn't even stay for the full time. She only stayed like in 2 or 3 months increment, 2 month increments. So watching and see my son starting to walk now, you know, eating different foods.
You're getting to see all those moments that you would have missed if you were.
I get to experience a full year of sun.
Yeah.
You know, rather than shoveling snow for 4 or 5 months.
Right.
It's so many things I got to experience. So I feel like I don't want to say the injury happened because I needed it, but it made me appreciate progress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My leg was straight for so long, fighting to get bent. You know, when you show him that picture, he don't understand how many days I cried. This guy bending my leg, or you bending my leg and rubbing my quads and stuff like that. So it made me appreciate progress. And for the past 2-3 years, I wouldn't say I was sad about how seasons were ending. I just didn't feel complete. Yeah, I was signing contracts and making more money, but I just didn't feel like without a championship, you don't feel like you achieve anything.
Right, because that's the ultimate
Especially
goal.
if you don't, especially if you don't make the playoffs, you just feel like, bro, I just played and I might have won a shot blocking award or whatever, but I don't feel good about that.
Right.
So having this injury and the progress made me feel like, I achieved something.
Right. Nice.
Oh, how I overcame the adversity.
Yeah.
That's the question. I didn't answer that. I don't know. I guess when you don't have a choice,
yeah.
You just have to go through a matter, and you just got to hope for the best results. You just got to keep taking it. Like I saw an interview today. So I can't remember what I saw on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
There was a boy on a horse in the woods, and it was foggy.
Mm-hmm.
And the boy was like, I can't see. Like, I don't know where to go. And the horse was like, bro, can you see your next step?
Yeah.
Just take your next step.
Yeah.
Don't worry about all the fog.
Don't worry about long term. Just worry about today. Conquer today, right?
Exactly. So that was cool.
Awesome stuff. So let's talk a little bit about work ethic. I think we got quite a bit of student athletes in here, and work ethic is important.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're in the classroom or on the court, or on the field, or on the track, I think that's important. How important? Tell me how important that is, especially at the professional level. How good work ethic.
Every step of the way in your life, somebody watching you.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing that gets you going, think about that. Someone is watching everything you do. Mm-hmm. And when someone is paying you to do a job, they even watching even more.
Right.
And they writing down data. You know what I'm saying? They putting GPS on you and reading your heart, reading how much miles you ran a day. Mm-hmm. So if that's gonna drive you to wanna achieve more every day. So you have to work it. You ain't gonna be able to lay in bed all day and get up and play. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing that, it's not a high level. So once you get to the high levels in sports, you're gonna have to work. Yeah. Like I saw a meme, or I hope Usain Bolt said this. Mm-hmm. He trained for 9 years to run for 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to work.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that work ethic, someone have it. Follow the person that has it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Do what that person is doing, and you're gonna find yourself working hard, and you don't even know it. Just be working hard with the next person. Right. At the same time, while you're working, you're motivating somebody else. Exactly. Now somebody else following you. Exactly. So once you pick that up, you'll be fine.
Awesome. So you were a student athlete at some point, right? Talk about how important it is to be a student first and an athlete second. Because a lot of times, athletes come in and they don't want to go to class. They just want to play ball, play soccer, run track, throw the discus, shot put, whatever. They don't want to handle their business in the classroom. So talk a little bit about that, because you did graduate with a degree. What was your degree in?
Social psychology.
Social psychology. So talk a little bit about that. Like I say, we have a few student athletes in here, so.
You're gonna need the schoolwork, because the schoolwork is how you're gonna play. If you don't have the schoolwork, they're not gonna let you play. Right. There's a lot of rules and stuff to award people the opportunity to play by doing the work in the classroom. So it'll be stupid for you to think that you're just gonna work out and don't do your schoolwork, and then you can't even show the stuff you work on because you can't play. Exactly. So that's why you see a lot of coaches, at least especially our coaches, you had a card, you had to clock in to study hard, and somebody would walk around and make sure you in study hard. Right. Now, to say you're just going to study hard to sit around, okay, that's cool, but why would you waste? You're already there. Yeah. Why waste that time? Why waste that time? Do the work. Right. And a lot of times, coaches would give us incentives like, if you achieve this GPA, no more study hard. And that's how I didn't get to study hard for like 3 years of my college career, because I knew that once I achieve this GPA this year, next year I don't have to do study hard. So I kept doing it like that. It's so funny, it propelled me to graduate cum laude, and I'm like, who am I, bro? Look at that. Who am I? I come from not having books, going to see I walk, not having books, not going to class and stuff, to now all it takes was a little motivation for me to understand how it works. Exactly. So you're gonna need to work, and it ain't really hard now. Like my daddy always tell me, call my daddy. My first year of college, I said, Daddy, college algebra killing me, bro. He said, listen, you gotta take it in small chunks. Yeah. Just practice every day. It ain't about if you know it or not. You have to practice. Yeah. And every day I would just take a little small chunks and practice and practice. Eventually I passed college algebra. Nice. So. Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
So again, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. We're gonna get to it. So we're gonna wrap this up a little bit, but before we go, we got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna close it off. Just give some nuggets, wisdom nuggets to anybody that's listening, whether they're a student athlete or a coach or just a regular person. Like,
the main thing I've been thinking about lately is having to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Times are changing. Basketball is changing. The way people play basketball and the way the game is perceived is different now compared to back in the days when we grew up. So just, be open-minded. Don't be closed-minded. There's not one way to do everything. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of ways. There's a lot of ways that works for different people. So, examine yourself, examine who you are, and just see what works for you. So, that in life, that ain't just in sports, that's in life.
Yeah.
So, be open-minded about a lot of things and just find a way to do it.
Yeah. Cool guy. I know when he reached out to me, I think that was in September, July
or June.
Yeah, somewhere down there. He reached out. He said, "Hey, I'm in town. I had this injury. Can you assist me with rehab?" And I was like, first I was a little hesitant because he's a professional athlete, and sometimes, I'm not saying everyone, but sometimes you have professional athletes that maybe have an ego or whatever. But this guy is completely down to earth, work ethic through the roof. Sometimes he wanted to go 2 sessions a day. What else I could do? Give me some stuff I could do at home. Like, it's constant work just to get better. So he's definitely a model athlete. And I just want to share this little picture with you guys. I know for the normal person looking at it, hopefully you guys can see that. He said this to me a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
And shout out to MarkFit360 in the background there. We're gonna have Jimmy Mackey on here in about 2 weeks. Sit down and talk. But if I showed that picture to just a regular person, they would say, okay, what's so special about this picture, right? But for me, like, this is huge because I remember when he came in, his knee flexion, like, he wasn't able to bend his knee the way it's supposed to. So, like, what you're seeing here, like, he was not able to do that. All right? So that's like normal range for a normal person without an injury. That's 135 degrees probably. And he came in at like, what, 100?
No,
less than 100.
I don't think I was even better than 90 at the point. Or I might have just got to 90.
Yeah.
I remember I was telling the guy I don't want to get on the plane until I got to 90.
Right.
When I got to 90, I came. But let me explain to this situation. So because of my injury and because I play sports, the doctor said he's going to make me stay in the splints longer.
Right.
He said because I'm going to stay in the splints longer, it's going to make a lot of things way more tighter than it's supposed to be.
And for those who don't know, splints, that just keeps your knee extended, fully extended, yes. Right? So when it was time to do rehab, it was a pain. Right.
I talked with the first lady. I had to move him because I couldn't take it. She couldn't, like, she wasn't. I didn't feel like she was getting me to where I needed to be. Like, my legs were literally, like, a month later, they were still straight.
Yeah.
So I went to this guy, Eli, at Boston Sports Medicine, and he pulled all the tricks.
Yeah.
He was tying me up around stuff and pulling and cranking, and people would just stand around and watching, like, "Are you ready for today?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" And he would, like, put cups on and just, just to get to that point, and to come here and to have you to compare you and Eli and see it was the same level.
Yeah.
I was motivated to be home. Yeah. If I could be home in great shape doing therapy.
Yeah.
So the progress with you and Eli was really something I really needed. Many days he was twisting them.
Yeah. And he was crying, y'all. He was in there crying, but we got it done. We got it done.
That to see my leg bend like that, I had to take a picture that day.
Yeah.
Because that was really a milestone for me.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, this right here is what keeps me motivated. To know that he came in and couldn't do that, and then he sent me that picture and was like, "Hey, look at this," that drives me. That keeps me going as an athletic trainer because this job isn't easy. Setting my alarm to wake up 4 o'clock every morning and getting home at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night every day, almost every day is tough. But when you get athletes like this that work hard, come in and want to get better, it's very self-gratifying. So thank you. You kind of push me and motivate me too. So that's awesome. We got King Selly in here. He said, "You're his hero." Thanks, Sally. Good. Nice. If anybody else has a question, keep dropping them. Let's get to Sean Bastian. He had a question about. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
Retirement.
Yeah, he was talking a little bit about retirement. Like, what's your plans? What's your plans for the future?
I don't know. You know, people ask me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people threw coaching at me. I don't know. I would coach only if I could coach at a high school. I could get my son in and give him all the playing time. You know what I'm saying? But that's years.
That gotta be the deal. Yeah.
That gotta be the deal. So
okay.
I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot of things. Retirement. I hope I could just get my portfolio to a place where I could just chill. You know what I'm saying? Just be at home.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely.
Be head coach, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now that you said that,
you can't just jump. I don't think it's good to just jump from
playing
to head coach at a university. This is a university now. So
yes.
I think you got to climb the ladder a little bit. You know, try yourself in high school or youth basketball and see how that works out first.
Right. Do you have anything in the pipeline as far as maybe coming back and to help with like player development? Even I mean, if it's not yourself personally, maybe like put on camps or.
No, I had something lined up before the pandemic, where I go back in the city and do basketball camps on the court and feed the community every so often. But because of the pandemic, I had to put it on hold. I'm plus I supposed to do some of the Special Olympics.
Okay.
For give their kids some little workouts and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think the pandemic's going to be over soon. I think at the end of this year it's going to be done with. I see a lot of stuff opening back up.
Right.
So as soon as that starts to go away, then I'm sure we're going to do something else.
Nice. We got another question here from Chris. He said, is your off-season workout more intense than in-season?
Yes and no. So there are breaks in the season. Like sometime in January, sometime in February is like an all-star break, and then it's like just a mid-season break.
Okay.
And those are the times where you either chill or you just like condition yourself more than the other team, because those guys, their bodies are probably worn down.
Right.
But you've been with your trainer all year.
Right.
So now you can push yourself a little more. So when the season starts back up, you still like this, because they've been trying to chill to get their body to catch up.
Right.
They kind of sluggish. So that part of my year is be really rough. My off season is be like a healthy year. It'd be like I'd work hard for like 3 weeks. I'll take a week off.
Okay.
Work hard another 2-3 weeks. Take another week off.
Right.
Take the family on vacation or something like that.
Right.
So even though it's hard, there's a lot more like times where I don't see basketball at all. I just with my family or I just hanging out.
Yeah, and you need that balance.
Right.
Yeah, it can't be basketball
Right,
every
can't be
day.
all the time.
Yeah. Drop your question, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So what can we? Let's close with this. What can we expect from you next season once you get back going? What can we expect?
I don't know. I just want to get back. You know what I'm saying? I've been down for a year. I just want to get back and feel it out. I want to feel what the new me feels like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be stronger, but I want to make sure. I don't want to say it and then it doesn't happen. I do want to play back in Japan. I don't want to play on the same team. I mean, I said that wrong. So that's why you got to be careful. I don't mind playing for other team.
Right.
But I just want to be back in Japan.
Right.
I like the world. The world out there is different. It's a different world. It ain't a different country. It's a different world.
Yeah.
The technology, the food, the people. It's totally different. I respect that. Middle East, I love y'all too, but I prefer to be in Japan.
Yeah.
So if I get back out there, I feel like I'm gonna do some pretty decent stuff. I just don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
You're preparing, and I think once you return, you're gonna do well. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you back on the court, suited up, dunking on people, blocking shots all day. So yeah, if we don't have any other questions, let me see.
Yeah, you have one. What's your favorite Bible verse?
What's your favorite Bible verse?
Let's see. I would go to the one I always knew from vacation Bible school and Sunday school. I think it's John 3:16.
Yeah.
For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son,
There you
You know
go.
the rest. I ain't gotta finish it.
There you
That's
go.
everybody's favorite.
There you go. Do we have
Who
any?
asked that question?
Chris.
That's
Chris.
Chris.
Okay.
Chris.
He also said when you run the ones, they didn't even go one-on-one with you or something.
Speaking of one-on-one.
Now, what? Ain't that person called before they say they gotta say they lying?
Listen, I just want to put it out there that I beat him in a game of horse. Okay, that's a shooting game. If you guys don't know what that is, I did beat. So let's just put that on the record. All right.
And he was injured.
No. He's not injured.
I was injured and she still lost. Like badly. Not like close, like by a long shot.
That's what we want.
So
Okay,
like take for instance, right? You see a person in the chat, King Selly.
He said that's the
What
only
is it?
battle verse,
He could never beat me on one-on-one.
He said he teach you
Don't
everything you
talk about
know.
someone like that.
He could never beat
It's in the chat. He said he taught you everything you know.
Please.
All right, guys.
I have a quick question. So you saying and I grew up being down too. So you say you coming from Seattle, walk up. Like you ever could have see yourself back then, going back to high school? You ever could have see what everything that you have available for you now?
No, because even when I was in college, I couldn't see it. It took someone to pull me aside and let me know where I was headed. I just was having fun. I can't even lie to you. I just was having fun and playing basketball and following my friends around who was playing basketball ahead of me, like Scott Farrington. I used to look up to Scotty because Scotty was a McDonald's All-American nominee, right? Yeah. And people don't even know like that. And I just used to follow him around, and we played on the senior AAU team in Houston and stuff like that, and he was really big in basketball, and he was ranked. All of us was ranked in the state, in the city, and all that stuff. So when a person sat me down, it's like, hey, you have a chance, right? I said, what you mean? And he showed me the NBA scout, and the scout was saying, okay, you got to play this way, you got to play over here, you got to play against this person. And I said, okay, now we talking some serious stuff. So when I got NBA workout invites, then I started to really believe, and then my work ethic really picked up. Right. So just to be in the locker rooms, talking to the head coach, you go in a boardroom and it's like a bunch of GMs just lying off, asking you a bunch of questions about your life. Questions they already know the answer to, but they ask you to see how you're gonna answer, how you're gonna respond. And it kind of made everything real. Yeah.
All right. Nice. And then next segue question, just cause also you're blue ticked on many social media platforms. So how I figure, you probably in the same set, but how you adjusted as a professional to the whole social media?
I don't really get into social media as much. If you look at
somebody
my
else
page, no, I do it, but I don't. So you would notice when I was in college, I played at a big university. I had my profile private because I'm a private person, so I don't want anybody. So I get thousands and thousands of people that want to be my friends, and I would deny. People would say, "Why are you doing this?" No, I don't regret it because it's still it ain't what I want to do, right? So yeah, you can make money off it, but you can be popular and all that stuff. But being popular comes with a lot of headache.
Yeah.
So my coach, they called me in one time. It's like, I'm saying, you gotta open this up. People want to see what's going on. They want to know you. They here for you. They want to see what's going on. So I open up, flood my timeline with a bunch of stuff. Right? That's fine. That's social media. You leave, your numbers start to go back down. People saying this guy, we don't want to see what he got going. He born anyway. He just showing he family. You don't pay just a bunch of my kids, and might be some basketball dunking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when I go to Saudi Arabia, a bunch of Saudi Arabians, right? When I leave Saudi Arabia, why you didn't sign back? They don't know that it's business between me and the club. We have to come to terms. I'm not just here to make sure you're happy. I'm here to make sure, both of us are happy, but more so, I got to be happy. So now my followers go back down. Then I go to Bahrain. Same thing happen again.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the cycle of social media. They love you, then they hate you.
It's real, man.
Right.
That's real. Do we have any other questions in the chat?
No, not right now. Everybody said they believe Sasha win.
Yeah,
Who say that?
You see that? The people do. We know I'm not gonna come on here and lie. Come on, Kadeem.
Unruly me says he believes that Sasha won.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Because that person don't know I can shoot. That's why. I don't know that the person know I can shoot.
All right, Kadeem, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming through.
Yes.
I know you got a busy schedule. You know, you're still working hard. You're now at MacFit 360, working out with Mr. Jimmy Mackey. We're gonna have Jimmy Mackey on in about 2 weeks. Okay, so not next week Thursday, but the week after Thursday. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So I know you're busy doing that. So thank you so much for coming through and, you know, making time for us.
Yes.
We're gonna have a part 2 to this. On that part 2, we're gonna be on the courts. I'll show you exactly who won the game, of course. Okay, guys. So again, thanks for being here.
Yep.
Thank you guys for logging in, and until next time.
One more. I saw. Is that a question? I can't
Do we
remember.
have another question?
That's the question. That was actually a question sent to the question section. Only you can
Okay,
see.
before we go, this is Selwyn again.
Yeah. So the answer.
Did you close it?
Oh no,
Okay.
I can't see that on my end. So
Oh, okay.
only you can see it.
Okay, so King Sally asks, before we go, how much credit do you give Selwyn for helping you to be the basket player you are today?
Okay, so think it like this, right? When you play against a team, and you
Right.
beat them really bad, do you give them credit for your success? Or do you be like, they're just another pawn in the way?
Yeah.
Just another pawn in the way.
Ah,
So
I'm
all
sorry,
that,
sorry, Selwyn.
all that attempts to play alongside me or play against me,
Uh-huh.
it's just a pawn in the way. I just had to go overcome that obstacle in my life. So I can't give that credit.
Ah,
It's like that's like me saying this injury made me who I am.
mm,
Please, I was already made.
yeah.
You know, so
Ah,
yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Again, thank you for logging on, and we will see you again soon.
Not me like more, son. Check him out.